So it's an intricate relationship between the bar and the bench. Yet there is a need for the bar leaders that they should withstand any pressure, undue pressure that comes from the bench or from any other quarters. What is it that the bar leaders can do in this regard?
When you are the elected president of the bar, you take with that office a huge amount of responsibility, taking upon the respect and the obligation of maintaining the dignity of the bar. And that has to be translated in action in many ways. I'll give you some very small examples. I remember once a Chief Justice of India earlier, not this Chief Justice, earlier Chief Justice of India, gave me time as President of the bar to meet at a particular time. He made me wait for half an hour and he didn't turn up. I felt that it is not Vikas Singh who is being made to wait. It is the president of the bar who represents the dignity of the entire bar is being made to wait. And I said this is not right, and I walked off and I said that I'll meet him only next time when he gives me a firm time. And I think now this is important because if the president of the bar waits like this, he is in some sense compromising the dignity of the bar. I had another incident when Chief Justice Bobde was the Chief Justice of India, and we had to do a farewell of Justice Indu Malhotra. One day before the farewell, he rang me up at night and he said, Vikas, I want the farewell to be simply exchange of flowers and I don't want any speeches. I said, sorry, there is no question of doing the farewell with an exchange of flowers, and it is our function. You can't dictate how our function is to be held. He got a little annoyed. He said, you're talking to the Chief Justice of India. I said, you're also talking to the President of the bar. So it's in that capacity that I had to take a call. He was so adamant. He gave the example of Justice Gogoi. He said, in the case of the farewell of Justice Gogoi, there was simple exchange of flowers and I want the same to happen again. I said, the President of the bar was weak then to have accepted this. I don't want my 500 or 700 lawyers coming and attending a farewell function to see exchange of flowers. They come to see or hear the experience of the retiring judge. It's a very emotional moment for the retiring judge. He or she also wants to, that's the time when they want to tell about their journey as a judge of the Supreme Court, highest court of this country. And it's not fair to do a farewell of that kind. Justice Indu Malhotra, she also was a little embarrassed because she although wanted the farewell to be the normal farewell with speeches, etc. But she was also, judges are under a very strange kind of a discipline where they have to accept whatever the CGI says. So she said, "No, because leave it. I don't think the CGI is relenting." I said, Indu, if you want to do it and I want to do it, it has to be that way. There is no question of doing the farewell in this manner. Then the next morning again she talked to me and she said, I think he's felt a little upset that you talked a little harshly to him. So if you feel if it is appropriate, if you could apologize, probably he may then come for the farewell. I said, I have no difficulty. There is no ego issue involved here. I rang up Justice Bobde and I said, I'm extremely sorry if you felt that I have used harsh words last night, and I sincerely apologize. There was nothing meant to be personal. It's just an institutional issue that I am taking up as a leader of the bar, and it's our function, and I want it to be done in the manner in which it has been done over the years, which is where the bar leader speaks, the retiring judge speaks, the Chief Justice of India speaks, and the people, the young lawyers of the bar are actually, they use this occasion to get inspired by the journey of these judges who are retiring. And it is very important for the institution, for them to know, and especially since Indu Malhotra was a member from the Supreme Court bar itself, her talking to lady members of the bar was very important because it's very rare for a lady lawyer to be directly elevated as a Supreme Court judge. When the farewell function finally happened, in spite of confirming that he'll come, he just walked off. So fortunately, Justice Rohinton Nariman was there at the function, so I took him on the dais and we had the farewell as scheduled with all the speeches. But I think these are very important details which an average member of the bar should know, that bar leaders have to withstand these pressures. I remember once I was not even the president of the bar, and Justice Arun Mishra, did not allow Gopal Shankar Narayan to argue in his court, and he says, if you argue any further, I'll start contempt of court proceedings. I was aghast with this kind of a statement. So I immediately wrote to the then president of the bar. I said, please immediately call an executive committee meeting, pass a resolution asking an apology from the judge, and if he refuses to apologize, then further pass a resolution that when lawyers are sitting in his court, they will not stand up when he enters court. Standing up in court is a mere, mark of respect. It is not something which is a mandatory, behavior which is to be expected from lawyers. And if the judges don't behave properly with lawyers, at least these are very simple marks of protest which we can do to show that we are not happy with this conduct of this judge. Now, lo and behold, my letter was published in the Bar and Bench and the other legal journals. And the very next day, Justice Arun Mishra in open court started saying, I apologize to the bar, I never meant to say this. And the matter was ultimately, covered up. And the issue need not have to be escalated. So these are things, Supreme Court has never gone on strike, and we never, encourage, because ultimately going to strike means that you make the client suffer for your cause. Why should your client suffer for your cause? If you want to really, make a protest, this is one way of protesting. You can protest by putting black, flags, or you can protest by doing a sit down at the residence of a particular judge or the Chief Justice of India. So these are more, better ways of protesting, which will not hurt the justice delivery, not hurt third parties who are the clients whose cases are coming up for hearing, and at the same time you are able to, you make out your case and put across your views, which are bound to be appreciated, because this kind of protest has definitely a more meaningful outcome. So I feel that bar leaders, they don't have to worry for their cases when they take up issues on behalf of the bar, because if they do that, then they are not being true to the office that they hold. They should really be completely, not bothered about what will happen to their individual cases. I remember once some judge asked Mr. Garg, the famous senior advocate, that Garg Sahab used to be very, very, blunt in court many times. So somebody, in one of those, casual dinners, a judge asked him that, Garg Sahab, अगर आपके हम सारे मैटर डिसमिस करने लगे तो आपका क्या होगा? He said, मेरा क्या होगा? आपका जात पता चल जाएगा. इसलिए ultimately judge has to decide in accordance with law. He is not to decide on the basis of the face value or on the basis of, a particular person standing before him. If a lawyer is making a point, the judge has to decide on that basis. So this behavior, I think, is very important to ensure that the respect and the credibility of the bar is maintained, and we come in this profession definitely to earn money, but not at the cost of our self-respect. And our self-respect, our dignity is properly maintained while we practice in the profession. So I think these are important for people to know as to how, and I expect bar leaders to behave like this in such situations, rather than succumb to the pressure of either the Chief Justice or the judges under such kind of circumstances.